Hello. Welcome to the channel. I have a goal of hitting 100 subscribers. Can you help me by subscribing? Modric injured, low sensitive for Real Madrid against City. These are the possible substitutions. Tchouaméni, Camavinga and Dani Ceballos are the main candidates to replace Modric in midfield. Before the 4-2 victory over Almeria, the bad news for Real Madrid had already been announced. An injured Modric could not be at the goal celebration that the merengue team offered to their audience at the Santiago Bernabéu. Likewise, it has already been confirmed that the Croatian will not be able to be part of the game in the Copa del Rey final against Osasuna or in the first leg of the Champions League semi-final against Manchester City. The medical services of the White House announced that Luka Modric's injury is in the femoral biceps of his left leg. Furthermore, the estimated recovery time given to the Balkan footballer is at least a few weeks. Undoubtedly, it is a hard blow for Ancelotti's team which, despite considering that the White 10 is almost irreplaceable, is already considering some options. Injured Modric, the most sensitive loss that Ancelotti's scheme could have. Modric's injury is the news that has paralyzed Real Madrid since their heavy defeat at Girona last week. The Balkan midfielder left the match with discomfort, but the worst was confirmed shortly afterwards in the medical report. Modric will be out for 2 weeks, so it's almost impossible for him to be in decisive matches like the Copa del Rey final and the first leg against City in the Champions League. This is a preoccupying situation in the planning of the Italian strategist. And it is that Modric, at 37 years old, continues to be the fundamental piece of the merengue midfield. Precisely, as Carletto himself confessed, Modric is irreplaceable. However, DT will be hoping to have him back, at least for the second leg against Manchester City. For now, Ancelotti is already working to find out which of his men he can assign the difficult task of replacing the legendary Croatian midfielder. Not that there are many options, but Ancelotti has confidence in his squad. Thus, even if there is not a totally natural substitute, the Italian would have names like Dani Ceballos or the French Aurélien Tchouaméni and Eduardo Camavinga to adapt a new scheme. Dani Ceballos, the first choice to replace the injured Modric. Ceballos' characteristics allow him to be considered the player most similar to Modric, who currently has Real Madrid's payroll. The Sevillian stands out for his technique and intelligence in distributing balls to his more advanced teammates. In the games in which he has been in action, the midfielder has shown his class and the positive influence that his decisions can have on the functioning of the team. Undoubtedly, Ceballos is the first option that Ancelotti should keep in mind if his idea is not to modify too much the proposal that the team usually presents with Modric on the field. Eduardo Camavinga, the player with the best adaptability to play in Modric's place. The Frenchman is one of the fittest players the white team has today. Camavinga is another of Carlo Ancelotti's key players, which is why he has played in every league match this season. One of the main reasons for his importance in the Madrid team has to do with his ability to adapt, which has allowed him to play in different positions. This quality of the French international could become, for the umpteenth time, the solution that Ancelotti needs. And it is that Camavinga has shown enough skill to adapt to a task like the one that a left-back must deploy. In addition to his defensive qualities, we cannot forget that one of the characteristics that caught the attention of the White House is his intelligence to play in midfield. Aurélien Tchouaméni, the defensive midfielder who can fulfill roles like Modric's. Tchouaméni is a footballer who stands out as a clear example of what the modern frontline midfielder should look like. The Frenchman is one of the most complete players that Real Madrid has, so in the face of a defeat as sensitive as that of the Croatian, Tchouaméni would have to be taken into account to be his substitute in the starting 11. Certainly, after the Qatar World Cup, the former Monaco player did not have the same prominence as when he arrived at the merengue team. However, currently the midfielder is in excellent physical condition. There is no doubt that Real Madrid may need the Frenchman's game vision and his unusual ability to get into the rival area. Now, with Modric injured, how difficult will Real Madrid's remaining rivals be? Of course, it's very possible that, with the players that Real Madrid have, Carlo Ancelotti finally won't have too many problems facing the tight schedule in June. Of course, We cannot miss the opportunity to remember that a large part of the responsibility for Modric's defeat is attributable to the Italian DT. It should be noted that Ancelotti has been rightly criticized for the low turnover that the team has had this year. Regardless of the above, Real Madrid will look forward to the return of Luka Modric, who will undoubtedly be essential to aspire to a new consecration in the Champions League. Meanwhile, the merengue team's next commitment will be as a visitor against Real Sociedad, in a game valid for the 33rd round of La Liga. After the commitment in Anoeta, Madrid will face the following opponents. Saturday, June 5, against Osasuna in the Copa del Rey final. Tuesday, September 5, Manchester City host in the Champions League. Saturday, May 13, at home against Getafe. Wednesday, May 17, visit to Manchester City. Sunday 21/05, away against Valencia. Hope you enjoyed the video. Who will replace Modric? Leave your opinion in the comments. If you came here, leave your like and subscribe to the channel.